Instructors are where the rubber meets the road when it comes to employee development. Effective training does not involve a trainer showing up and reading off a lesson plan, it is far more intricate. Yes, an instructor must be able to deliver the curriculum, but it is even more important to deliver that material in a way that keeps the student's attention so that it is absorbed and retained. There are a lot of factors that go into achieving this goal. A workplace instructor is an experienced employee or professional who plans, guides, and evaluates job skills and training for learners or new staff directly on the job. They bridge the gap between basic theory and daily work tasks to ensure safety and productivity. The key roles and duties include planning training, setting clear learning goals and organizing daily tasks, demonstrating skills, showing how to use tools, machinery, or software safely, guiding practice, giving hands-on help while workers try new tasks, and evaluating progress, checking work quality and giving helpful feedback. When most people hear the word training mentioned, they think of the instructor standing in front of the classroom lecturing while emitting facts and figures that may or may not be of value. This is a singular dimensional view of training. But there are many components of training. 5 in fact. They include 1. The student. Some might assume that the instructor would be first, but without students there would be no need for learning. Students share many characteristics because of the objectives and purpose of training organizations, but many differences still are present. 2. The instructor. Someone must be available to aid in the transfer of knowledge or skills to the students, and this is the job of an instructor. That role is not to just stand in front of the class and lecture. The instructor is the tour guide in the education process, with the responsibility and authority to lead and control the classroom activities. The trainer should create a proper environment in the training location, promote a value system to function in, and focuses to each employee's development. 3. Knowledge and skills. The instructor should be the expert having the knowledge and skills necessary to be able to transfer them to the students. For each class, the end state purpose is provided in the course goals and objectives. These objectives guide the words an instructor uses, the types of practical activities, and the way the students are evaluated. 4. Methods of instruction. There are various methods of instruction, and the instructor should tailor the method to the students and the knowledge and skills to be transferred. And 5. Physical environment. The other 4 factors, students, instructor, knowledge and skills and methods of instruction, interact within a learning environment. The environment should be adapted to the training taking place. The instructor may or may not have complete control of the environment, especially if the training is taking place outside of a classroom. People learn information by processing it through their 5 senses. Each individual has a preferred or dominant sense that is used more often to associate and remember information. This dominant sense affects their preferred learning style. The 5 senses are sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. The first 3, sight, hearing, and touch, are the most frequently used in a learning environment. However, students learn through all the senses. For example, a culinary student learns best by taste. And, for others, some of their most vivid memories may have involved the smell of something. Visual learners are those who process information that they can see better than information that they hear or by performing a task. This means that visual learners prefer to read over listening and write over speaking aloud. They have a greater chance of remembering information that is presented to them in the form of graphics. Auditory learners understand best using their sense of hearing. This means they remember and understand new concepts better when they are explained out loud, even if they are doing the speaking themselves. Auditory components such as tone, pitch, and loudness are all important to these learners. They may talk a lot and interrupt others. They remember names better than faces. Noise and music are very distracting, and they do not benefit as much as other learners from pictures or practical activities. And the kinesthetic learning style requires the learner to manipulate or touch material to learn. They learn best when they can move around and engage their small and large muscle groups. Oftentimes, kinesthetic learners feel their way of learning is not as good because they cannot just sit and do the work. but there are lots of ways to maximize their learning style. Kinesthetic techniques are often used in combination with visual and/or auditory learning techniques, producing multisensory learning. Instructors have a responsibility to establish and maintain a civil, productive, inclusive, and stimulating learning environment. Both instructors and students have a fundamental obligation to respect the instructional setting as a place for civil, courteous discourse. It is an instructor's job to teach students how to improve their hands-on skills or increase their knowledge of a particular subject. Instructors work in various industries, but many of the essential skills, duties, and responsibilities overlap even if the subject material is specialized and the job qualifications differ. Instructors need to be comfortable working with different skill levels, age groups, and learning speeds. Of course, instructors need to have expertise in what they teach. As an instructor, it is essential to have patience, to be an excellent listener, and to be comfortable providing feedback and constructive criticism. The qualities of a good instructor that contribute to the success and effectiveness of employee development are many. The qualities of the instructor should include the ability to understand and work well with people, the desire to teach, competence in the subject, enthusiasm, motivation, ingenuity and creativity, empathy, and mediation skills. A good instructor must have a masterful knowledge of the subject matter, far beyond the minimum standard. Some certification-level courses require the instructor to have the knowledge and/or skills at specific levels above that which they will be teaching. Effective instructors should be able to give relevant examples and draw conclusions based on what they have personally witnessed. Constant self-improvement as an instructor is imperative. How do you get better? How are you truly challenging yourself and seeking to improve? What tools are you using in your teaching? As instructors, you should focus on elevating your teaching to a higher level by engaging with the students and maximizing the traits that go beyond just being a subject matter expert. Whether you are new to teaching or have years of experience, there is always room for improvement and growth so that your classroom teaching experience can be impactful and dynamic. As you develop your teaching and presentation skills, you learn to overcome the common pitfalls that instructors encounter. Some of those pitfalls are lack of organization, poor communication habits, inadequate subject matter, involuntary distractions, lack of variety in instruction, death by PowerPoint, and teaching without clear learning objectives. Do you incorporate motivational, interactive videos or visual aids? Are you effective at reading the audience? Is your presentation structured? Do you fully engage the participants, and does your presentation leave a lasting impression with the students? Do you recognize the importance of self-assessment and accountability and the critical role that rehearsal plays in your preparation? All of these factors are critical to be an effective instructor. An effective instructor needs to try to master and examine different teaching styles and techniques. For example, the inductive teaching method allows instructors to encourage participation and reinforces student observations. By simply asking the students a series of questions while teaching, you have the ability to evaluate the individual's understanding of the concepts. This allows you to develop the students' observational skills, and it also makes the activities more interesting. Recognizing when to ask questions can change the tempo of your classroom and boost student involvement. It is imperative to engage students with the right questions. Questions that require a yes or no answer are not productive. Does the student really understand the question, or are they answering yes or no because they do not want to reveal to the class that they do not comprehend the concept? The questions must be probing, which requires the student to demonstrate their knowledge of the idea or ideas being taught. This teaching style is an indicator that helps identify if the students are retaining the information and can apply the principles. An effective workplace instructor needs a blend of clear communication, active listening, subject matter expertise, adaptability, and technical proficiency with digital learning tools. They must engage adult learners, design practical training paths, and give helpful feedback to boost employee performance. The operational and technical skills include instructional design. Plan clear learning goals, structure lessons, and build useful course materials. It is the systematic process of analyzing employee training needs, then designing, developing, and evaluating learning experiences that solve performance gaps. It focuses on building practical job skills, utilizing frameworks like the analyze, design, develop, implement and evaluate, or adding model and aligning educational outcomes directly with business goals. Adaptability. Change your teaching style on the fly if learners struggle or lose interest. Workplace instructor adaptability is an instructor's ability to modify teaching methods, pace, and content in real time based on learner feedback, environmental shifts, or unexpected challenges. It involves adjusting communication styles, pivoting lesson plans, and staying calm under pressure to ensure effective knowledge transfer. Technical proficiency. Use learning management systems or LMS, video software, and digital presentation tools. It needs deep subject matter expertise and digital platform mastery to teach job-specific skills effectively. They bridge the gap between complex tools and employee performance by combining hands-on technical competence with clear instructional design. And assessment. Evaluate worker progress honestly and offer constructive feedback. A workplace instructor tracks student or employee progress by monitoring on-the-job training, reviewing completed modules, evaluating practical tasks, and conducting regular site visits or check-ins to ensure skill competencies are met. Effective workplace instruction relies on active listening, clear verbal and nonverbal delivery, structured message formatting like signposting, and delivering constructive feedback. Instructors must adapt their communication style to match the audience, foster collaborative problem-solving, and replace confusing jargon with plain, accessible language. Core communication and interpersonal skills include active listening. Focus completely on learners, avoid interrupting, and repeat back key ideas to check for mutual understanding. This means giving a speaker your complete, undivided attention, processing their words, observing their body language, and confirming your understanding before replying. It also means ensuring the other students provide the person talking with respect. As a workplace instructor or trainer, using active listening builds trust, prevents miscommunications, and helps trainees feel valued and supported. Clear structure. Lead with the main point or headline first, then back it up with concise supporting facts or step-by-step logic. It involves logical sequencing from simple to complex, and structured hands-on practice. Using a repeatable framework helps employees retain information and apply new skills directly to their jobs. Audience adaptability. It is the ability to change your teaching style, pace, and content in real time to match the needs, skill levels, and feedback of your learners. Tailor your pace, vocabulary, and depth of explanation to the skill level and background of your trainees. It ensures training is clear, relevant, and engaging for everyone in the room. Nonverbal alignment. Use open body language, steady eye contact, and purposeful gestures to reinforce your spoken words. It means matching your physical body language, facial expressions, and vocal tone to your spoken words. When your silent cues match your teaching goals, learners trust you more, stay focused, and avoid confusion. And constructive feedback. Offer specific, actionable guidance rather than general criticism to help learners improve safely. It is a specific, behavior-focused, and growth-oriented communication tool. Its goal is to redirect actions, improve performance, and support professional development without attacking a person's character. Great instruction requires distinct pedagogical and interpersonal competencies beyond knowing the content. Effective educators must master translation, facilitation, and emotional intelligence to ensure learners actually comprehend and apply complex material. The core instructional competencies include deconstruction. The ability to break complex, abstract concepts into small, digestible, sequential learning steps. The more complex the job or task, the more important this becomes. Translation. Using analogies, everyday plain English, and visual diagrams before introducing dense technical terminology. This is especially important for new hire training. Active facilitation. Designing interactive exercises and discussions rather than relying on passive lectures. Sometimes you have no choice other than death by PowerPoint, but when there is other options, they must be taken. And assessment literacy. Using continuous formative check-ins to spot confusion in real time and adjust pacing. Failing to continually assess may lead to getting too far ahead too fast and losing your audience. Workplace adult learners require practical, self-directed, and goal-oriented training. Because adults bring prior experience and busy schedules to their jobs, effective professional development must focus on immediate real-world application rather than rote memorization. In the 1970s, Malcolm Knowles developed the art and science of helping adults learn. Knowles was one of the first modern-day learning theorists to really focus on adult learners, separating adult factors from children. His work was a significant factor in reorienting adult educators from educating people to helping them learn. He identified the 6 principles of adult learning. They include: 1. Adults are internally motivated and self-directed. Adult learners make choices relevant to their learning objectives. They also direct their learning goals with the guidance of their mentors. Students need to be given the freedom to assume responsibility for their own choices. 2. Adults bring life experiences and knowledge to learning environment. Educators encourage learners to connect past experiences with current knowledge and activities. Educators must know how to relate the sum of the learner's experience to the current learning activities. 3. Adults are goal-oriented. Adult learners aim to acquire relevant and adequate knowledge, and for this reason intended learning outcomes should be clearly identified. Once the learning goals have been identified, educators must align the learning activities such that these objectives are fulfilled within a certain period of time. 4. Adults are relevancy-oriented. Adult learners benefit by relating the assigned tasks to their own learning goals. If it is clear that the activities they are engaged into directly contribute to achieving their personal learning objectives, then they will be inspired and motivated to engage in projects and successfully complete them. 5. Adults are practical. It is very important for educators to identify appropriate ways and convert theoretical learning to practical activities. Work placement is a way for students to apply the theoretical concepts learned inside the classroom into real-life situations. Learning is assisted when appropriate ways of implementing theoretical knowledge in real-life situations are made clear. And 6. Adult learners like to be respected. Adult learners thrive in collaborative relationships with their educators. Learners become more productive when they are considered by their instructors as colleagues. When their contributions are acknowledged, then they are willing to put out their best work. People learn information by processing it through their 5 senses. Each individual has a preferred or dominant sense that is used more often to associate and remember information. This dominant sense affects their preferred learning style. The main learning styles are: visual learners. These are those who process information that they can see better than information that they hear or by performing a task. This means that visual learners prefer to read over listening and write over speaking aloud. They have a greater chance of remembering information that is presented to them in the form of graphics. Auditory learners. They understand best using their sense of hearing. This means they remember and understand new concepts better when they are explained out loud, even if they are doing the speaking themselves. Auditory components such as tone, pitch, and loudness are all important to these learners. They may talk a lot and interrupt others. They remember names better than faces. Noise and music are very distracting, and they do not benefit as much as other learners from pictures or practical activities. And kinesthetic learners. This requires the learner to manipulate or touch material to learn. They learn best when they can move around and engage their small and large muscle groups. Oftentimes, kinesthetic learners feel their way of learning is not as good because they cannot just sit and do the work. But there are lots of ways to maximize their learning style. Kinesthetic techniques are often used in combination with visual and/or auditory learning techniques, producing multisensory learning. A workplace classroom atmosphere blends professional training with structured learning. It relies on open communication, mutual respect, clear expectations, and continuous growth. This environment helps employees learn new skills, share ideas safely, and build stronger team connections. The core elements of setting an effective classroom atmosphere include: clear expectations. This is done by keeping rules concise, typically 3 to 5 core points, using specific and actionable language rather than vague commands, and actively modeling or practicing the behaviors. The most important rule is mutual respect, from instructor to student, student to instructor, and student to student. Consistency, visual reminders, and regular collaborative feedback ensure everyone understands and meets those standards. Safe participation. This requires clear expectations that build psychological safety, mutual respect, and active engagement. Core guidelines include treating everyone with respect, listening without interrupting, sharing ideas constructively, maintaining confidentiality or privacy, and taking responsibility for personal behavior and learning. Active collaboration. This calls for clear communication, shared responsibility, mutual respect, and defined roles. Success relies on moving past simple task splitting into deep, co-constructed problem solving. And positive reinforcement. This uses rewards and praise to encourage good behavior. Clear expectations help teachers and bosses set clear goals. Praising good choices makes people want to repeat them. Instructors may or may not develop their own curriculum and testing materials. Whether they do or not, trainers must understand the curriculum development process of their organization to be able to know how it was built and how to influence positive changes. The most commonly used system in curriculum development is the Instructional Systems Design Process or ISD. The Instruction Systems Design approach known as ADDIE is commonly used. The 5 phases of ADDIE are: Analyze is the stage where the goals are figured out, the needs of the learners, and current skill gaps. Design. Plan out the course structure, learning objectives, and teaching methods. Develop. Build the actual learning materials, content, slides, and guides. Implement. Launch and deliver the training program to your target audience. And evaluate. Check if the training worked and gather feedback for future improvements. Whether the instructor participates in the creation of the curriculum or not, they are highly involved in the implementation phase when they deliver the lesson plan. The effective utilization of lesson plans is another skill that an instructor must learn. Additionally, at the completion of the delivery of most lesson plans, there is a test as an assessment of learning and retention. The test is an evaluation method to determine if the required knowledge or skills have been learned by the student. The instructor must focus the training on these specific objectives to ensure the desired result is achieved. Workplace instruction can be accomplished using various methods to introduce and build hard and soft skills effectively. Some core instruction methods include on-the-job training or OJT. Employees learn while doing actual work tasks under supervision. To learn more about OJT, click on the subscribe button and watch the FSTG OJT video. Instructor-led training. Active teaching by an expert in a classroom or virtual setting. This method is typically more formal than other methods. Blended learning. Combining digital e-learning modules with live discussions. Oftentimes, the e-learning will use to complete pre-training work, referred to as prerequisite requirements. Then the more in-depth training is done using instructor-led techniques. Microlearning. Delivering short, focused bursts of content, typically 10 to 15 minutes, targeting a single skill. Toolbox talks use this method. It typically is for reinforcement of skills, implement changes, or safety reminders. And coaching and mentoring is a structured, collaborative meeting where an experienced mentor guides a mentee through goal setting, skill development, and problem solving. Pairing a new hire or inexperienced workers with a seasoned peer for ongoing guidance can be very beneficial. Practical workplace learning activities turn passive listening into active skill building. These tools let workers test ideas, make low-stakes mistakes, and retain operational skills faster. Practical learning activities include role-playing scenarios, simulating real customer service calls or difficult conversations to build confidence. Job shadowing, observing an experienced colleague perform daily tasks to understand workflows. Branching simulations, using digital tools to let workers make decisions and see immediate consequences. Cross-functional projects. Having team members collaborate on a short challenge outside their normal department. And lunch and learn sessions. Informal group workshops discussing new industry insights or internal processes. Workplace psychomotor skills combine brain function and physical movement to do coordinated tasks. They include eye-hand coordination, reaction speed, finger control, and steady hands. These abilities help workers do jobs safely and correctly, especially in manufacturing, driving, medical fields, and construction. The main types of psychomotor skills are manual dexterity, for example, moving hands quickly to work with large tools or parts. Finger dexterity, including controlling small objects with exact finger movements. Control precision, such as making careful, exact adjustments to machinery or equipment. Reaction time, or responding fast to sudden changes or warning signals. And multi-limb coordination, meaning moving arms and legs at the same time, like when driving or operating heavy machinery. Psychomotor skills matter on the job because of safety. Fast reflexes and good coordination prevent workplace accidents. The primary safety benefit is the reduction of human error and the prevention of accidents during high-risk or high-stress tasks. When physical actions become automatic and precise, whether in healthcare, aviation, manufacturing, or driving, responders can execute complex procedures swiftly and accurately without overloading their cognitive focus. Productivity. Skilled workers make fewer mistakes and finish physical tasks faster. Psychomotor skills, which link conscious cognitive processing with precise physical movement, directly boost productivity by increasing task execution speed, reducing error rates, and minimizing physical fatigue during repetitive or intricate manual operations. And quality control. Steady hands and precision ensure high-quality assembly or medical care. Applying quality control to psychomotor skills, the coordination of physical movement with mental processing, ensures high precision, safety, and consistency. The primary benefit is the reduction of procedural errors and variability, leading to safer medical operations, reliable manufacturing, and peak physical performance. Workplace training learning aids are tools and materials that help employees learn new skills. They include visual guides, digital modules, videos, and interactive software that make complex ideas easy to grasp and remember. Examples of training aids include infographics, quick charts that show key steps or stats at a glance, job aids and cheat sheets, short, step-by-step printed or digital reminders for tasks, manuals and handbooks, detailed guides for company policies and core duties. Work equipment. Using the actual equipment and machinery can help directly relate the training to job performance. And simulators are high-tech virtual training systems used to teach, test, and screen operators for machinery. They reduce fuel costs, prevent site accidents, and eliminate wear and tear on real equipment. A workplace instructor peer assessment is a structured process where educators, trainers, or corporate instructors evaluate each other's teaching performance. Using predefined criteria like communication, instructional design, and engagement, peers observe sessions, review materials, and provide constructive feedback to improve professional development and training quality. The key components of a peer assessment process can include pre-observation meeting. Discuss lesson goals, specific focus areas, and review course materials or syllabi. Live observation. Sit in on a training session, workshop, or online module to watch delivery and learner interaction. And post-observation debrief. Meet to discuss strengths, challenges, and actionable areas for growth. Like any other function, workplace training comes with its own share of hurdles. Most trainers do face some common challenges that need to be overcome for training to be successful. Core obstacles an instructor may face include low engagement. Employees often tune out during long lectures or click through digital modules. This is overcome by engaging students, including interactive activities, and getting them out of the classroom. Time pressures. Workers struggle to step away from daily tasks to focus on learning without hurting productivity. Organizations must dedicate time and the budget to allow for training and skill development opportunities. Diverse skill sets. Teams feature mixed prior knowledge, making generic, one-size-fits-all material ineffective. To address this, tailor the training to the audience. New hires will require different training than experienced team members. Fast-changing tools. Technology and company policies update so quickly that training materials age fast. Trainers must stay engaged with operations to understand what new equipment or processes are coming to ensure they can meet organizational needs. And resource limits. Instructors often operate on tight budgets with minimal staff support. Many organizations do not see training as a profit center, but when the workforce's knowledge, skills, and abilities increase, so does productivity, however it is measured. Instructor development is vital because deep subject knowledge alone does not guarantee effective teaching. Continuous training helps educators master communication, adapt to diverse learning styles, integrate new technologies, and improve knowledge retention, directly turning expert information into real-world student or workforce capability. We hope you found this training video valuable. Please give us a like and click the subscribe button to access additional FSTG training videos.